What will Saturday's Husker Games event look like? And let me ask, we have to call it Husker. I mean, can we just say we're going to call it the red white? But it's I mean, if they play a red white scrimmage, can they call it the red white game, or is it still going to be the Husker Games?
Well, we know now they're going to play. They're going to put the ball down. Lower units are going to play like second, third, fourth teams, whatever it is. They're not. Matt Rule has said they're not going to play the starters. So I don't know what I call it. The spring culmination event. That's what I call it. Husker Games. I don't know. I've heard you do some interviews, Sean, with other outlets. You strike me as pretty skeptical about what this day is going to look like. Is that an accurate read?
It's just, I'm kind of like with you in the sense that it's hard to embrace some change when you know what they had before was the best in the country. And so call me a little skeptical, but yeah, here's the early rundown that was released earlier. For $50, you can get tours of the new Osborne Legacy Tour complex from 8 to noon. From 8 to 2, there's a food truck festival in the East Stadium. That was on the original schedule. Then from 9 to 1, it's the Husker equipment sale in the Hawks Indoor Center. And then Husker Games football in Memorial Stadium. The gates open at 12:30 with activities beginning at 2. This was the original schedule. 7-on-7 football, skills contests, other competitions featuring the 2025 Nebraska football team. Husker football legends participating in competitions and skill contests. Women's flag football game between Midland University and UNL All-Star Intramural team at 1. Okay. So that was kind of what the schedule was before, but now we know that there is going to be football worked into that. Mm-hmm. So what will that look like?
Well, it'll look like that. And full disclosure, the spring game became something that wasn't really appealing to me. But now I feel kind of guilty about the way I used to sort of grouse about it. Thank God I didn't do it. I don't think I did a lot of that publicly because now those spring games might look like the Super Bowl compared to what we're going to see. I
mean, Michigan held their spring game Saturday, and they drew a good crowd, 40,000-ish.
Yeah, 40,000. That's what was reported.
Bryce Underwood threw 26 passes in the game. I mean, they played everybody.
They played the big dollar quarterback who may or may not win that job, but yeah, you saw they played. They made a tough decision. Rule, and I'd say Dan, they made a tough decision in this case to pull back because Matt didn't like the idea of putting his frontline players out there for the world to see.
But the portal closes the day before. They could still see them for future portals though, right? As long as but what if you just don't air it on TV?
Right. There's tampering though, and you put a few guys out there that might not be necessarily known, and now they're known, right? But not if it's not on TV. I hear you, Sean.
But it's also like at a place like Nebraska, if a couple guys do well, it's naturally going to get a lot of hype.
And now, exactly. Now we should acknowledge the possibility that this is going to be a resounding success. It could be. Maybe they have a formula cooked up over there that they're going to come back on Monday and say, hey, Sip and Sean, what'd you think about that? Because we just drew 25,000 people and they seem to love it. We have to leave open that possibility. Would they draw 25? Do you think they'll draw 25?
No. I mean, I don't know.
That was a hard no, Sean.
I don't know if that agenda before is going to do it. I mean, it just comes off as the jack of all trades, the master of none.
Right.
Like they're just doing a bunch of things, but what is it?
Right.
Like you knew what you were going there before to watch on that Saturday, and you were willing to want to come down. And I mean, think about when Scott Frost took the job. I mean, they sold out the spring game in a few hours.
Wasn't that long ago.
And those were $10 to $20 tickets.
If they just did a spring game this year, I don't think the crowd would be gigantic, but there would be some appeal of seeing Raiola Dillon throw to the, like, for instance, the new receivers, Dane Key. What's that look like?
And maybe he'll throw to him in 7-on-7 or who knows. And look, maybe Matt Rule will have a hard U-turn on this and they'll surprise everybody on Saturday and play some of these guys. Who knows?
If you were the head coach, you've said before you'd be concerned about injury. Of course, you're concerned about injury. Always concerned about injury. Hell, you're concerned about injury in 7-on-7. But there's got to be people in the comments, Sean, that don't like us sort of belly aching about this. I'm going to proceed with an open mind, I guess, and just see what it looks like. But I'm not going out there to catch.
No, and remember, it's going to be about these players that this could be their last time ever doing this.
Oh, now when you get to the live scrimmage action, that I'm looking forward to. That'll be football. You'll see some football, and that helps. But and I think this is what you're alluding to. I just would have liked to see Matt take it a step further and have the starters out there for a couple series. Easy for me to say, I know, but I think, Sean, this is not about you and me. It's not at all, really. It's about the fans. And in this day and age of college football, I said it before on our show the other day, in this day and age, with all these sort of turnoff elements to college football, you have to take care of your fans now more than ever. Now more than my lifetime, in any point in my lifetime. You got to take care of them.
For the sellout streak to sustain in the next 2 to 3 years, I mean, it's going to take a lot.
You got to take care of them. And this would have been a way to do it. We're second guessing right now, which is sort of unappealing.
We're second guessing because we've seen what these other things have looked like.
That's the part of I'm glad you brought that up. We're second guessing because we've seen the crowds for the Sooner Combine. Is that what they called it?
Yeah, in Alabama,
which drew 12,000.
Wisconsin,
which drew 7,600. But it didn't look like that to me. It was really paltry. You've seen crowds down all over the country. So we've had sort of this precursor. And you're like, and I know how you are, Sean, you cringed. You're like, oh, God, is this what we're going to see here? Yeah, probably.
Well, because you think about it, in the modern history of Nebraska football, demanding on, when has Nebraska football gone in that stadium for an event where they sold tickets to it, where it's looked like what you saw at Wisconsin?
You think that's what it's going to look like?
I mean, you hope not, but you're nervous that it will, and that's not good.
No, I saw that photo. I know the photo you're talking about.
It looked like the Class C championship game.
Yep.
I mean, and that's, you don't want that postcard fodder out there. Like, and that's what I work, because people will use that against Nebraska.
You know what, Sean? You're telling some hard truths this morning.
Well, I know what people do against Nebraska. I know what they'll do. They'll say, look at this. Once a proud program, look at this now. Like, and it's not, I mean, look,
it's not that though.
But
right?
It's
still a proud
but
program.
it will get misused.
Yeah.
The picture of that by your enemies and other people out there.
Is that Matt Rule's concern? Or is his concern?
Well, like he said, he goes, I'm not serving two masters. My job is to win games at Nebraska.
And win at a high level.
And he can't, you're right. He can't try to appease 25 different people's opinions on this.
How much of his job is to build fan enthusiasm for the spring culmination event? I don't think it's not part of his job entirely, but it can't be it can't define it in any way. Now, yeah, so he's in kind of a spot, and I think that began to hit him
last week.
Yeah, going by the way he approached his Thursday press conference. I am not suggesting that he decided to have some live scrimmage action because of his perception that this might not go well from a crowd standpoint. He didn't say that. He said he's doing it for those kids.
Yeah, there's lower unit guys that you want to be looked at. I mean, in this case, like,
good point.
They need it.
They need some tape out there. And there's a few guys that people might watch and go, okay, we could use him. We could use that player. That would be beneficial.